Welcome to my home. Today we'll do a warrior series with a little bit of balance included. We just need a little bit of space and a little bit of time, and we can practice our yoga together in our homes. I'm going to take my glasses off and scooch back and find that comfortable cross leg. So let's all find a comfortable cross leg position. Try to tuck our feet underneath our knees. Draw our navel to our spine, roll our shoulders to our ears and down our back. And then close our eyes as we turn our palms to face the sky. As we inhale, we'll fill our chest with air. And as we exhale, we'll draw a breath down our spine and towards our belly. Inhaling, filling our chest with air. Exhaling, drawing breath down our spine and towards our belly. Inhaling, filling our chest with air. Exhaling, drawing breath down our spine and towards our belly. Inhaling fully and pausing. Inhaling a little more. Exhaling fully and pausing. Exhaling just a little more. Inhaling fully and pausing. Inhaling a little more. Exhaling fully and pausing. Exhaling just a little more. Take a few breaths at your own pace. Spending more time in an inhale to unlock the upper back or more in an exhale to unlock the lower. Imagine our spine was being supported by a pillar. The crown of our head lifting to the sky, our shoulders aiming to opposite walls. 2 more breath cycles wherever we happen to be. 1. Let's keep our eyes closed and slide our hands so that our hands are resting on our thighs, rather than resting on a joint. With an inhale, our heart aims to the right, our left hand encourages our thigh to descend. Exhale, heart to left, right hand encourages the thigh to descend. 4 more circles in this rotation. 3 more. 2 eyes are closed. Last one, pausing it upright. Inhale, left, right hand encourages our thigh to descend. Exhale, right. 4 more in this direction of our rotation. 3 more, opening our hips. 2. Last one. Pausing, our eyes stay closed because we're just a little dizzy. We'll let our knuckles face forward, hands on our shins. Inhaling into our seated cow, sternum reaching forward. Exhaling into our seated cat, tucking our chin, tucking our tail, aiming our shoulders to our hips. Taking 3 to 5 cat and cows, moving at the pace that's best for you. There's no need to rush. Trying to use your breath to help your body unlock. Where your breath stops you, that's where your body is telling you, I need just a little bit more attention at this moment. After you've taken about 3 to 5 cat and cows, after you feel like you're not dizzy any longer, return back to the simple cross leg with eyes remaining closed, spine stacked, palms facing the sky. If the feet started to inch away from resting underneath the knees, bring them back to rest under the knees. About 1 more breath cycle if you're not already back in this simple cross leg. With our next inhale, we'll open our eyes and we'll gaze forward. We'll notice which leg we crossed in front. We'll bring our hands to prayer and we'll interlace the corresponding finger by our body. Inhale, we'll draw our navel to our spine, extending our arms forward, lifting up. Exhale, releasing our shoulders down our back. Inhale, we'll slide our chin to the right like we're backing out of our parking spot. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we slide our chin to the left. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we'll gaze to our fingers. We'll slowly exhale, gaze forward. We'll gently undo the interlace, extending our arms out, finding the muscular resistance, pausing at parallel. Let's draw our right hand behind us, tuck our left arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, lengthening, creating space. Exhale, we'll turn our belly, our heart, and our gaze. Inhale, lengthening in our twist. Exhale, using our left hand as a hinge, bringing out our belly. Deepening our twist. One more breath cycle in our twist. With our next exhale, we'll uncoil. We'll return back to center. Let's take our hands shoulder distance apart in front of us. Inhale, elongating our spine, shoulders aiming to our hips, navel drawing to our spine. Exhale, shimming our fingers forward. Going only as far forward as we don't round our back at the last moment. We'll press our fingertips into the ground. Our sternum reaches forward, and we sweep our hands back, interlacing the same finger to our sacrum, eyes closed. Inhale, we'll extend our hands away from our body to the ceiling, to the wall in front. Keep our fingers interlaced for medium. Draw our palms together for more. Hold onto our elbows for less. We're aiming our shoulders to our hips. We're drawing our navel to our spine. Smiling in the direction of the floor, releasing tension from our jaw and around our cheekbones. One more breath. With an exhale, we soften our elbows, hands to our sacrum. We undo the interlace, palms atop our thighs. Inhale, we'll gently restack our spine. Let's lift up our knees, and we'll crisscross our legs in the other direction. Inching our feet to rest more underneath our knees than not. We'll roll our shoulders to our ears and down our back and bring our hands back to prayer. Interlacing the other finger by our body. Inhale, we'll draw our navel to our spine, extending our arms forward, lifting up. Exhale, releasing our shoulders down our back. Inhale, we'll slide our chin to the left like we're backing out of our parking spot. Exhale to center. Inhale, we slide our chin to the right. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we'll gaze to our fingers. We'll slowly exhale, gaze forward. Gently undoing the interlace, extending our arms out, finding the muscular resistance, pausing at parallel. Let's draw our left hand behind us, hook our right arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, lengthening, creating space. Exhale, turning our belly, our heart, and our gaze. Inhale, lengthening while we're in our twist. Exhale, using that right hand as a hinge, bringing out our belly. Deepening our twist. Inhaling while we're in our twist. Exhale, using that right hand as a hinge, bringing out our belly like a washcloth. With an exhale, we'll return back to center. One more time, we'll take our hands shoulder distance apart in front of us. Inhale, we elongate, shoulders aim to our hips. Exhale, we'll shimmy our fingers forward, going only as far forward as we don't round our back. At the last moment, we'll press our fingertips into the ground, our shoulders lengthen to our hips. We draw our navel to our spine. Inhale, we'll sweep our hands back, interlacing the same finger by our body. We'll extend our hands away from our body to the ceiling, to the wall in front. Shoulders aim to our hips, navel draws to our spine. We close our eyes and smile in the direction of the floor. Taking tension away from our jaw. 2 more breaths, finding that chest expansion, opening up the hip with the leg that's crossed in front. 1 more. With an exhale, our elbows bend, our hands return back to our sacrum. We undo the interlace, palms atop our thighs. Inhale, we open our eyes as we restack our spine. We'll gently lift up our knees, and we'll roll onto one hip or another, no preference, finding all fours. We'll turn the inner aspects of our elbows towards one another. We'll bring our middle fingers parallel to the sides of our mat or the walls if we're not using our mat and carpet. Inhale, let's exaggerate our cat, tucking our chin, tucking our tail. We'll curl our toes and we'll find our first down dog high on our tippy toes. With an inhale, we'll bend one knee, lower the opposite heel. Exhale, vice versa. Pedaling out our feet. Stretching our calves and our Achilles with conservative knee bend. Or taking a little bit more adventurous knee bend to get into our lower back. Deciding what's right for you at this moment. 2 more breaths as we customize our practice. 1 more. Inhale, we'll meet high on our tippy toes. Exhale, we'll simultaneously lower our heels towards the ground. We'll draw our thighs back to the wall, lift our shoulders to our hips, turn our armpits towards our yogi mat neighbors as we gaze to our navel and nod yes and no, freeing our head, neck, and shoulders. We'll let our head be passive. We'll begin to walk our hands back to our feet, softening our knees if our hamstrings wish. And when we arrive at the back of our mat, we'll take the knee bend necessary to place our first 2 fingers and thumbs around our big toes. Inhale, elongating our spine. Exhale, bending our elbows wide, folding our heart to our thighs, lifting our shoulders to our hips, nodding yes and no. We'll allow our head to be passive, letting gravity help us find just a little more space. One more breath cycle. With an exhale, let's take a deep bend in our knees, hands to our hips, tailbone descends, spine stacks. We bring ourselves to upright. Inhale, lifting our arms high, palms connect. Exhale, elbows bend, thumbs descend, lengthening our triceps. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend, protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our toes, and we'll walk ourselves out into our plank. Carefully lowering to our bellies, letting the fronts of our feet touch. Inhaling into our cobra, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Hands on the ground for flexibility, or hovering for strength, yogi choice. Gazing at a floor in front of us, holding a quarter between our shoulder blades. 2 more breaths, toes encountering the floor. 1. Hands down if they're up. Let's curl our toes, press our heels in a chaturanga. Then inhale into our downward facing dog. From our down dog, let's walk footprint by footprint towards the front of our mats. Softening our knees as our hamstrings wish. When we arrive at the front of our mat, we'll take a deep bend in our knees, chest to our thighs, elbows behind our knees, wrists behind our ankles, or fingers under our heels. We'll surrender the crown of the head to the floor. We'll lift our shoulders to our hips. We'll draw our navel to our spine. We'll elongate our legs without losing the connection of our chest and our arms. Our inhale helps us draw breath between our shoulder blades to release any tension. Our exhale helps us unlock that lower back. Smiling in the direction of our legs, our eyes are closed, no one's watching. 2 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees, eyes open, hands to our hips. Tailbone descends, spine stacks. We bring ourselves to upright. Inhale, lifting our arms high. Exhale, mini back bend, elbows wide, heart lifts, gift card between our legs. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend, protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our toes, and let's stride back with our left leg, keeping right knee over ankle, fingertips under our shoulders. Inhale, rounding our back like cat, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin, lifting up our right toe to create more space. Exhaling into our lunge, knee over ankle, shoulders lengthen to our hips 3 more times. Rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. 2 more, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. 1 more, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. Let's allow the left knee to descend. Inhale, we'll build from our base. Navel draws in, tailbone descends, thighs draw to the midline. Bring our palms to touch. Exhale, elbows bend, thumbs descend, lengthening our triceps. Inhale, we'll lift our arms high. We'll interlace our fingers, pointing our fingers to the sky, shoulders melting down our back. Inhale, we lift up. Exhale, our right ribs lift up and over a beach ball. Our thighs draw to the midline as an anchor from our waist down. Finding the stretch from our left hip to our shoulder, our arms equidistant from our ears, forming a picture frame so our portrait can hang on our wall. Inhale, back to center, other side, shoulders melt down our back. Inhale, fingers lift. Exhale, our left ribs lift up and over, arms equidistant, forming that picture frame. Thighs draw to the midline. 2 more breaths, smiling. 1. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, undo, hands under our shoulders. We'll curl our left toes. Our left knee tucks in to join our right. We balance, impersonating our flamingo. Then we'll externally rotate that left leg, tippy toe to the floor. foot to the calf, or inner aspect of our thigh, finding our tree, thumbs to our sacrum. Tailbone descends, crown of our head lifts. We keep that ruler-like spine. We can support our lower back or bring our hands to prayer. The effort of our hands and our foot and our legs should be even. Maybe we wish our tree limbs to grow. Maybe our arms shoulder width or cactus. Perhaps we hold elbows behind our back, or find reverse angeling or reverse prayer. If we wish more challenge, we close our eyes. We're finding our focal point is something on the floor in front of us. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2, 1. With an exhale, we'll place our hands on our hips, eyes open, left leg hovers. Inhale, we'll feel our chest. Exhale, softening our right knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll stride back with our left and then our right. We can rest in down dog or exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Let's look to our hands. We'll soften our knees. We'll step our left foot forward into our lunge, knee over ankle, fingertips under our shoulder. Inhale, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin, lifting up our left toes to create more space. Exhaling into our lunge, knee over ankle, shoulders lengthen to our hips. Inhale, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge, continue to have our shoulders aimed to our hips. 2 more. As we round our back, we gaze to our shin, no strain in our neck. As we find our lunge, we gaze somewhere around our left foot. 1 more time. Rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. We'll surrender that right knee to the ground. Inhale, build from our base. Navel draws in, tailbone descends, thighs draw towards the midline. We'll lift our arms high. Exhale, mini back bend, elbows wide, heart lifts, gift card between our legs. Inhale, arms high. So we're going to do what we did before, but add just a little challenge. Let's slide the right hand down our right leg. Left arm lifts high. The other side is more challenging because we don't have that right leg as a guide. Inhale, our thighs draw to the midline. We extend our left arm to the sky. Exhale, the right hand slides to the floor. The left arm lifts up and over past your ear to the wall. Our thighs draw to the midline. Imagine we've got that gift card between our legs and our mini back bend. 1 more breath. Inhale, back to upright, palms connect. Then we'll allow our left hand to descend, thighs draw to the midline. Inhale, thighs draw towards one another, right arm lifts. Exhale, the left hand slides to the floor, the right arm lifts up and over past that right ear towards a wall. Thighs continue to draw to the midline as if we're in that mini back bend. Holding on to that gift card. 2 more breaths. 1. Inhale, back to center. Those side bends help our immune system. Exhale, goalpost arms. Inhale, fingers high. With an exhale, we'll let our hands rest under our shoulders. We'll curl our right toes. We'll tuck our right knee to join our left. We'll impersonate our flamingo balancing. And then we'll prepare for our tree. Tiptoe the floor, foot to the calf, or inner aspect of our thigh. Thumbs to our sacrum, protecting our lower back. Crown of our head lengthening to the sky. Our ruler-like spine is as long as possible. Maybe we support our lower back. Maybe our hands are traditional at prayer. Perhaps our tree limbs grow. Maybe arms shoulder width or cactus. Holding elbows behind our back, reverse angeling a reverse prayer. Tree provides 2 opportunities to expand our chest. 1 chance to balance on each leg, 1 chance for each hip to open. Eyes open or close, 3 more breaths. 2, 1. With an exhale, we'll meet eyes open, hands on our hips, right leg hovers. Inhale, we fill our chest. Exhale, we'll soften our left knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll stride back with our right and then our left. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog, gazing at our navel. Stay here or lift our right leg high. Perhaps come up onto the ball of our left foot, stretching our arch. Perhaps with an exhale, draw the right knee to our nose for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, right leg high. Let's look to our hands and we'll step our right foot forward into our lunge. Surrender that left knee to the ground. Right hand to our right thigh, staying nice and low. We'll cross that left arm over our leg, hands to prayer. Gaze into our right foot. Inhale, the crown of our head lengthens forward. With an exhale, we press our hands into one another. Our hands pressing into one another helps our rib cage rotate. We'll stack ribs, shoulders, elbows. Keep our hands at prayer. Maybe fly. Perhaps we bind. We can keep the left knee on the ground or curl the toes, lifting. Finding where our body would like to be. 3 more breaths, yogi choice. 2 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 1. With an exhale, let's meet with our hands under our shoulders. Let's keep our left palm or fist under our shoulder. Inhale, the right hand slides past our knee, past our shoulder to the sky, finding that rotation once again. Holding the beach ball between our left rib and our right thigh. Stay here. Maybe bring the left knee to the ground for support. Maybe pivot our toes to the side wall to stretch that IT band. Or perhaps we'll find a side plank balancing. 4 more breaths, reaching out of the floor. 3, 2, 1. We'll meet in our lunge. Hands under our shoulders. We'll soften our left knee tucks in to join our right. We'll gently bring ourselves back up, impersonate our flamingo. Left tippy toe crosses over, prepare for our eagle, thumbs to our sacrum. Let's allow our eagle to sit on its perch, hips and shoulders facing forward. Starting with the tiptoe on the floor, tailbone descent. We'll extend our arms, bend our elbows and palms connect. Our left elbow on top of our right. Stacking wrists over our elbows so our thumbs don't hit our forehead. We round from our spine to our heart. We keep the tiptoe on the floor, we coil. We stand or perch, or we fly. Yogi choice. 4 more breaths wherever we are. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, flown eagles, come back to the perch. We'll all uncoil, hands to our hips, hovering that left leg. Inhale, we'll fill our chest. Exhale, softening our right knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll stride back with our left and then our right. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog, staying here. We're lifting our left leg high. Maybe coming up onto the ball of our right foot to stretch our arch. Perhaps with an exhale, drawing our knee to our nose for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, left leg high. Let's look to our hands, and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge, knee over ankle, right knee surrenders. Left hand on our thigh, right arm deeply crosses over, hands to prayer. Gazing at our foot to begin. Inhale, the crown of our head extends forward. With an exhale, we press our hands into one another, stacking ribs, shoulders, elbows. Hands at prayer, fly or bind. Right knee up or down, yogi choice. Sing wherever we are for 3 more breaths. 2, 1. With an exhale, we'll meet with our hands and our shoulders, right palm or fist. With an inhale, the left hand slides past our knee, past our shoulder to the sky. We hold the beach ball between our right rib and our thigh. Crown of our head lengthens forward, right heel draws back, maybe knee on the ground. Maybe we pivot our toes to the side wall, getting into the IT bend. Maybe we find a side plank balancing. Reaching that left arm to the sky, reaching out of the floor, wherever we are for 4 more breaths. 3, stacking the joints in our arms. 2, 1. We'll meet in our lunge. Hands under our shoulders. We'll soften our right knee. Tuck the right knee in to join our left. And again, we'll impersonate our flamingo. Hands to our hips. Right leg crosses over. Finding our perch for our eagle. Thumbs to our sacrum. Protecting our lower back. Let's encourage our tailbone to descend as we exhale and sit down into our perch. Stacking shoulders over hips. We'll extend our arms. Navel engages. Elbows bend. Maybe left elbow on top. Maybe we coil our toe. We're rounding from our spine to our heart. Perhaps our elbows aim in the direction of our knees. Perhaps our eagle wishes to fly off its perch. Doing a floating sit-up, you decide. Customizing our practice for 3 more breaths, rounding from our spine to our heart wherever we are. 2 more breaths wherever we happen to be. 1. Inhale, flown eagles, come back. We'll all meet with our hands on our hips, right leg hovering. Inhale, we'll fill our chest. Exhale, softening that left knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll stride back with our right and then our left. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog with our big toes touching. Stay here. Or lift our right leg high. Maybe bend our knees, stack our hip, gaze under the left armpit at our heel. Stillness stretches the quad, circling the knee in space, unlocks the hip. Find where your body would like to be for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Let's look to our hands. And we'll step our right foot forward into our lunge, knee over ankle, pivot the left up 45, heel to heel. Preparing for a humble warrior, crown of our head surrenders, no strain in our neck. Let's sweep our hands back, interlacing the left finger by our sacrum. With an inhale, our hands extend away from our body to the ceiling, towards the wall in front. Left knee on the ground, perhaps. Maybe our shoulder slides to the inside of our leg. Perhaps we find balance in a toppling tree. Customizing our humble warrior, gazing at our right foot wherever we are. 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Exhale, gracefully come down from toppling tree. Inhale, gracefully build up from knees on the ground. We'll bend our elbows, lower interlace hands to rest in our sacrum. With an inhale, our hands encourage our tailbone to descend, each vertebra to stack. Navel draws in, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. And when shoulders are stacked over our hips, we inhale, allowing our eyes and our hands to glide in opposite directions. The hot air balloon lifts our heart to the sky, our thighs muscularly draw to the midline, finding our warrior one with our humble warrior arms, creating more space between our shoulders and our ears. 2 more breaths. 1. Inhale, traditional warrior 1. Exhale, let's open our left hip, externally rotate warrior 2. Inhale, our right arm slides forward, form atop our thigh, lifting our left arm to the sky and taking a gentle extension of our right arm. So the arm against the leg helps open our right hip, broadening from fingertip to fingertip, lengthening from left heel to the crown of our head for 2 more breaths. 1. Exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank, right thigh parallel. Let's walk our hands back until they rest under our shoulders. Softening our left knee, we'll place our hands on our thigh to begin in our warrior 3 balance. Finding strength with our hands on our thigh. Hands on our hips help keep us honest, keeping our hips and shoulders aiming to the mat. Our hands can be a prayer airplane. Or maybe we interlace the right finger at our sacrum for more of a chest expansion. Customizing our practice at this moment. Crown of our head reaching forward, right heel drawing back, creating that nice long line for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Exhale, we'll meet with our hands on our heart, left knee softens, hands under our shoulders. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. We can stay here with our big toes touching, or lift our left leg high. Perhaps bend our knees, stack our hip, gaze under our right armpit at our heel. Stillness stretches the quad, circling the knee in space, unlocks the hip. Just trying to keep our shoulders squared to the mat, finding the rotation from our navel. 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Let's all look to our hands, and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge, knee over ankle, pivot the right up 45, heel to heel. Preparing for our humble warrior, chest on our thighs, surrendering the crown of our head down. No strain in our neck. We'll sweep our hands back, interlace the right finger at our sacrum. Inhale, our hands draw away from our body to the ceiling, to the wall in front, finding that humble warrior. Chest in our thigh, shoulder to the inside of our leg. Knee on the ground or toppling tree, wherever we are, we're looking somewhere around that left foot. No strain in our neck, we're here for 4 more breaths. 3 more breaths, balancing. 2, even weight distribution through that left foot. 1. With an exhale, our toppling trees gracefully come down. Inhale, knees on the ground, build up. We meet with our interlaced hands in our sacrum. With an inhale, our tailbone descends, our spine stacks, shoulders over hips, navel engages. Inhale, our eyes and our hands glide in opposite direction. Hot air balloon lifts our heart to the sky, and anchor draws our sacrum to the ground. 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Inhale, traditional warrior 1. Exhale, opening to our warrior 2, externally rotating that right hip. Inhale, the left arm sliding forward, form a top of thigh, reaching our right arm to the sky, and gently extending that left arm. Broadening our wingspan, lengthening from fingertip to fingertip. Stretching from our right heel through the crown of our head. 3 more breaths, opening that left hip. 2. 1. With an exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank, left thigh parallel. Let's walk our hands back until they rest under our shoulders. Softening our right knee, we'll place our hands in our thigh, preparing for warrior 3 balance. Crown of our head lengthens forward, left heel draws back, navel engages. Our hands are on our thigh, our hips, prayer airplane, or left finger interlaced closest to our body. 3 more breaths wherever we happen to be on the second side. 2 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 1. With an exhale, we'll soften our right knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. In our down dog, let's lift up high on our tiptoes. With an exhale, we'll pivot onto the little toe side of our right foot and our left arch. We'll soften our right knee. We'll lift our left hip to the sky, stretching through that left side body. Inhale, back into our tiptoes. Exhale, we'll pivot onto the little toe side of our left foot and our right arch. Our left knee bends. We reach our right hip to the sky, stretching through that right side body. Inhale, back to our tiptoes. Exhale, we'll simultaneously lower our heels towards the floor. We'll draw our thighs to the wall behind us, lift our shoulders to our hips, turn our armpits towards our yogi mat neighbors, gazing to our navel, and nodding yes and no. We can stay in our down dog with our big toes touching, or lift our right leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our left foot. Perhaps with an exhale, we draw our right knee towards our left elbow and hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale, right leg high. Let's look to our hands. We'll step our right foot forward into our lunge, pivot the left at 45, heel to heel. Prepare for warrior 1, hands to prayer by our right big toe. Inhale, our legs are strong. Exhale, we float up into our warrior 1. Shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Navel draws to our spine. Arms shoulder width interlace or cactus. We'll find a spot to look at on the wall right in front of us. And we'll follow that spot up the wall, through the ceiling, into a back bend. Hot air balloon lifting our heart, navel drawing to our spine. Thighs muscularly drawing to the midline. 1 more breath. Inhale, traditional warrior 1. Exhale, we'll open our left hip, warrior 2, palms up. Inhale, let's slide our right hand forward a little. Exhaling into our reverse warrior with or without a bind. Stretching from right hip to shoulder, lengthening and strengthening left hip to heel. Lifting and lowering our toes. Trying to find an anchor from our waist down, to find the flexibility from our waist up. 1 more breath. With an exhale, we undo a bind if we have. Inhale, right arm and right leg extend. We'll pivot our right toes inwards, our heels out, toes in. Keeping that left hand behind us to keep our hips steady. Inhale, our right arm reaches forward. And with an exhale, we hook our right arm to the outside of our left leg. Inhale, our thighs lengthen back, the crown of our head extends. Exhale, the right shoulder softens, the left shoulder subtly lifts. If our hips are steady, we could high five the wall. Or we could take that right hand to the inside of our left thigh to get just a little bit more of a bind, get just a little bit more of a twist. So you decide medium or moving the positioning of that left hand. Eyes open or closed for 2 more breaths. 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees. Eyes open if they're closed, hands under our shoulders. We'll pivot our hands and toes forward, step back into our plank. We'll walk our hands back, lifting that right leg high to the sky, softening our elbows when we create that large pyramid with our 2 hands and foot. Crown of our head surrenders, gazing to our shin. Inhale, we'll open that right hip to the sky. Stay here, strength and flexibility. Or begin to walk our hands closer and closer to that leg or in contact with our leg, adding in a component of balance. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2, 1. Let's all take a larger pyramid. Our knee softens, and we'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Stay here with our big toes touching or lift our left leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our right foot to stretch our arch. Perhaps with an exhale, we draw our left knee to our right elbow for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, left leg high. Let's look to our hands, and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge, pair with the right out 45, heel to heel, preparing for warrior 1, hands to prayer, our left big toe. Inhale, our legs are strong, our navel draws in, our tailbone descends, arms lift high, shoulders melt down our back, arms shoulder width interlace or cactus. Inhale, we find that spot to look at on the wall in front of us. We'll follow that spot through the ceiling into our back bend. Hot air balloon lifting our heart, tailbone aiming to the ground. Imagine that back foot pressing into the baseboard. 2 more breaths. 1. Inhale, traditional warrior 1. Exhale, let's open our right hip, warrior 2. Palms up. Inhale, left arm sliding forward. Exhaling into that reverse warrior with or without our bind. Stretching from left hip to shoulder, lengthening, strengthening right hip to heel. Finding that side stretch. Helping get into our lymph nodes and help our immune system. 2 more breaths wherever we are. 1. For bound, we'll undo. Inhale, we'll extend our left arm and left leg, pivot our left toes inward, right hand behind our body. Inhale, we fill our chest. With an exhale, we lengthen our left arm forward and hook our arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, hips steady, tailbone draws back, crown of our head extends. Exhale, we subtly lower our left shoulder and lift our right. If our hips are steady, we can high five or take a bind. 3 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. Eyes open or closed. 2, 1. Exhale, eyes open, hands under our shoulders, deep bend in our knees. We'll pivot our hands and toes forward. Step back, left leg high. We'll walk our hands back until we create that large pyramid. Softening our elbows, crown of our head surrenders. We look to our shin. We open our left hip, strength and flexibility. Or perhaps make a smaller pyramid or contact our legs, adding in balance. Wherever we are, it's 4 more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, knees soften, hands under our shoulders. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. And in our down dog, We'll soften our knees. Letting our knees rest under our hips, we'll pivot onto one hip, no preference. And we'll extend our legs forward. Let's keep that left knee bent. Take the right hand, encourage that left ankle to rest by our right glute. So as our left knee aims forward, we cross that right leg over our left thigh. Our left elbow hugs around our right leg, so we have strength in our right foot. Right hand presses into the ground, strengthen our right hand. Inhale, our right limbs press into the ground. We lengthen our spine, create space between our vertebrae. Exhale, we turn our belly, our heart, and our gaze. We can keep the hug to stretch around our glute. We can bend the elbow to get into our thoracic spine. Each inhale, our right limbs are strong, helping us find space. Each exhale, we see where the space allows us to go. One more breath. Exhale, we'll uncoil, counter twist, right hand to our arch, left hand behind us. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we turn our belly, heart, and gaze. With an inhale, we'll bring ourselves back to center. We'll uncoil and we'll re-pretzel up our body. Right knee aiming forward, right ankle resting by our left glute, left leg crossing over. Right elbow hugs around our knee, left hand behind us. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we turn our belly, heart, and gaze, keeping the hug or using the bent elbow. Each inhale, our left limbs press strongly into the floor. Each exhale, we find that rotation. Finding where our body will take us. 2 more breaths. 1. With an exhale, we'll uncoil, left hand to our arch, right hand behind us, counter twist. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we'll turn our belly, heart, and gaze. With an inhale, we'll uncoil. Let's unpretzel our limbs. We'll allow our heels to touch, and we'll scooch to the front edge of our mat. So you have space to roll back for our Shavasana. Heels touch, toes lift. We'll extend our arms forward as if we're reaching for someone that's in front of us, holding onto a rope. Our friend is giving us a little slack so we can slowly, muscularly roll down. We scoop out our belly like the letter C. We initiate the movement from our tail. And we lengthen from our sacrum through the crown of our head. And when we finally reach the ground, we keep that left leg extended. We place our right foot on our left thigh, left arm to the outside of our leg. Right arm extends out from our shoulder, palm up. Inhale, we fill our chest. With an exhale, we encourage our right knee to aim to the left. And we encourage our gaze to aim towards our right hand. Let's have that left leg dynamic as if we're standing on our leg in tree. Option 1, stay here, eyes open or closed. Each inhale, we fill our chest. And with each exhale, we rotate our rib cage and our navel towards the mat. If we want a little less, we tuck the left knee under the right. If we want a little more, we extend the right leg and left hand so our toes connect. And if we want a little bit more from the left, we reach that right hand to our left foot. So we figure out if we want that IT bend stretch, the quad stretch, or just to focus on creating space in our thoracic spine. 2 more breaths. 1. Let's meet with our knees stacked. We'll use our core strength. We'll bring ourselves to center. We'll hold behind our thighs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, we'll curl our head, neck, and shoulders to our knees, finding a nice little bow with our bodies. Then we'll let our torso descend. Let's extend that right leg forward, left foot on our right thigh, right arm to the outside of our leg, left arm extends out from our shoulder. Inhale, our chest fills. Exhale, our knee aims to the right. Our closed eyes aim to the left. Each inhale, we focus on bringing air into our lungs. With each exhale, we focus on rotating our ribcage and navel to the floor. Dynamic right leg, maybe tuck the left leg under. Maybe extend the left leg and right hand to get into the IT bend. Maybe we bend the right knee and have the left hand capture the foot, stretching the quad. We pretzel our body as much as we would like. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2, Exhale, we'll stack our knees. We use our core strength. We'll bring ourselves to center. Once again, we'll hold behind our thighs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, we'll curl our head, neck, and shoulders to our knees, finding a nice little ball with our bodies. Then we'll let our torso descend. One at a time, we extend our legs forward. One at a time, we reach our hands back. We'll interlace our thumbs. Inhale, we reach our fingers and toes away from the midline. Exhale, we let it all go, sliding your hands along the floor, resting with our palms up about 8 inches from our side body. Sliding our legs out to rest about mat distance apart, heels in, toes out. We can take Shavasana right here, or perhaps bend our elbows, let one hand rest on the heart and one hand on the belly. As we inhale, we feel air enter that space under the hand on our heart. And as we exhale, we feel air enter that space underneath the hand on our belly. Deciding where you'd like your body to go. The external rotation of the arms or the internal. Taking your Shavasana for a few more breaths. With our next exhale, let's gently draw our left thigh into our chest, holding behind our thigh, letting our leg come close to our core, stretching that lower back. Let's extend the left and draw on the right, hold behind our thigh, finding that thigh to chest connection, stretching the lower back. Let's gently draw the left knee in to join our right. And we'll begin to rock from side to side to side to side, eventually resting on our right-hand side in our supported fetal position. Opening and shutting our eyes, preparing ourselves for the rest of our day. We'll press our left hand into the floor and then our right. We'll gently guide ourselves back up, finding our simple cross leg, lotus, half lotus, or Virasana, hero's pose with knees, shins, and ankles together. Wherever we are, we'll all lift our shoulders to our ears, roll them down our back. And we'll close our eyes as our palms face the sky. Let's imagine there's a golf ball on our left shoulder. We'll allow our left ear to lift up and over that golf ball, and our right fingers to rest with a feather-like touch. The touch reminds our shoulder to aim to the floor. We breathe and we swallow, we lengthen and we open. Inhale, our chin back to parallel, right hand descends. Now the golf ball's on our right shoulder. We'll lift our right ear up and over, left fingers with a feather-like touch, breathing and swallowing. Lengthening and opening. Inhale, our chin back to parallel, left hand descends. Let's all lift our shoulders to our ears, roll them down our back, and as our shoulders extend to the wide edges of our mat, our chin becomes heavy, fold into our chest, letting the back of our neck lengthen through gravity. Let's all bring our hands to prayer at our heart. And namaste. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for coming into my home and practicing yoga. And I will see you next time. Please leave any comments of suggestions that you would like me to incorporate. And I can do my best to incorporate those into one of our upcoming classes. Have a great day. Stay healthy. Stay safe.